Jeffrey Springer is dead.
This drink is strong.
Welcome, Ken.
He didn't say the word cast in podcast.
No,
he didn't.
I have been muted when I did the intro. Fuck me, and Karina loves you. So they heard you guys, didn't hear me because I didn't hit the right key when I hit go live. So fuck me.
L?
I unmuted your guys' sound, not mine, because I didn't hit both keys. So yeah.
Oof.
Big
Never
oof.
gonna get a sponsor.
Never. That's fine. So how's everybody doing this week?
Yeah, whatever.
Oh my god.
How's everybody doing this week? Come on.
Remain
It's
silent,
been a
brother.
fucking week. I'm just
Tell
gonna
me
say
about it.
that.
Tell me
Definitely
about it.
an week of
Fuck,
time.
man, what a week.
Ooh, infinity.
So,
Sorry.
you're all good. Yeah, this week has been a fucking hell of a week for everybody, I guess. So we'll start with the elephant of the room. Yo, we got a community strike.
What is this we shit?
To be fair, it's 100% me who got the community strike.
We got a strike for your actions. Our boss is a dick. Someone hire us. Please.
I didn't
What did we get a strike for
hate
specifically?
speech.
Some ordinary podcast, please hire me.
So it wasn't on the podcast. It was a video 4 years ago when Black Ops, when Call of Duty Cold War came out originally, and I was streaming the second map, which technically they both came out at the same time, but it was the second map when you go to you're in a German bunker that's not Keynote and Toten, and I can only assume that I was insulting Jewish people in that when I was playing a Nazi. That might be the only case, but I could have said some wild shit because it was just, again, the title also said Nazi zombies, so I don't know if that was the flag. It could have been anything, but it was like an hour and 30 minutes of gameplay, and I reviewed it, and I was like, this seems perfectly fine, and I went, wait, maybe there's some things that probably would have not flied. But
Look,
I just deleted it from the channel. It didn't really matter. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
look, the higher ups will never even watch even like a minute of the video. They just have to look at the title and say, "Yeah, this is hate speech."
Like I think what it is. I think
demonetized.
there's a because I know the community guidelines had changed again recently to allow cursing and stuff. But there's an amount of cursing that can be done in a short period of time, and then like there's like four now words that are like off limits, and we say those 4 words constantly.
How many times can I say fuck?
It's not fuck.
Shit.
That wasn't
No,
a question.
no, it's like
Hopefully, it's
I
not
can't
for
say
Nazis,
them. You know what? I'm gonna
just
type
doing
them.
like
I'm
The
gonna type
N-word.
them. It's you know what's funny?
F-word.
It's not the F word. It's not the F
the
word.
right type of
Depends.
N-word.
Which F word?
Gay.
That one we can't say it. That's the other one.
No, I'll say that one first.
It's the N word. That F word. I believe it is
N-word with hard R.
the C word and the T word, the full one, the one
T.
that I say, but that's not acceptable anymore. Part of a
give me
car.
more hints, not
Part of a car.
Oh, gotcha.
Extreme words
Okay.
you can't say on YouTube and say all of them.
You can't say transmission anymore?
No,
Oh,
you
wait.
can't say the short version of a transmission.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm just gonna
Damn.
call them
Dude, I can't
transmissions.
Yeah, you can't say you blew.
Bro, I
You can't say you blew a tranny anymore. You can't say that even if you're talking about
You can't
cars.
say that,
bro.
Yeah.
That's sorry, bro. Flame.
So it was like he doesn't even say it. I say it. Like now I'm just gonna call them transmissions, and then they're gonna have to suck it. But like those are the 4 main ones that they look out for. As what I was kind of going over. Like they didn't release the words, but those were the ones that people have picked up that immediately get flagged as people have been testing. And like people have said fuck and shit and other stuff like that, and it doesn't do it. I don't. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, go figure. I know.
I I really detest YouTube because there's such a bunch of babies. They just need to grow the hell up.
Oh,
Look,
Jeez.
man.
Actually,
Look. We can't like
Even if Scissors Wojcicki is not even there anymore, whoever the asshole is running up there, he needs to grow a pair.
I don't think it has anything with growing a parent. I think it has to be doing with the fact that they're like a business that is like
No,
monies.
like have to be like be tolerant. I mean, we got the Rumble. They don't care. That's like you can do whatever you want in
What
there.
company?
Rumble.
Nobody gives a shit.
I found Leafy in there.
Sorry,
That
I
guy's
thought
like
that was gonna be
banned. That guy's banned in YouTube, and he's making cash in there.
But yeah,
Even
it-
Alex Jones.
that
Alex Jones.
leads we're not getting into that. That leads me into a question that I never thought it would be even asked for when we get to the special new podcast thing. Are we gonna have to censor us? Are we gonna censor ourselves, or are we just gonna bite the bullet?
I don't think the actual content is going to change in any capacity.
Okay, good. That's what I figured.
We're still going to be the same deranged idiots we are normally.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make. I figured I didn't have to ask the question. Yeah.
There you
exactly.
go. There you go, Wise.
I didn't think it. I didn't figure I had to ask, but it was a question. I'm like, maybe I should ask just as a formality. But yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna keep the same filters I've had
same.
this entire time. So
Yes, my love.
Can you bring me water?
Yes, my love.
please?
I don't think there's any cold ones though. I'll bring you some ice.
I'm still gonna remain as me because I am not gonna get my language controlled by a middle-aged man or woman.
by robots.
What?
ooh, the strength strong.
All right, I'm gonna go take a shower.
Bon voyage.
Can you like?
So how you been doing, Wise? How's your week? While Arsenal's doing shit. If you heard me.
I don't think he's there.
Okay. Well, fuck me then.
Did you what?
Oh,
Yeah, just tired.
What about you, Wing King? How you been? How you been doing? Tell us about your week.
everything's just great. A guy is
Hunky-dory?
dead. A guy is dead right before the podcast.
Yeah,
On
so-
this
Instead
very
of
day.
after.
We got a little excited. We were supposed to kill him after the podcast, but you know.
No, this is before. This is way before. It's like I think it happened like a 10
Yeah, it was in
in
the
the morning.
No, it was not 10 in the morning. Who posted it? Somebody posted it like early in the morning.
I think
Yeah,
it was
somebody
you,
did.
It
wasn't
was
Wing?
7. Yeah, it was
Oh, it
him
was
at
me,
7:40 in the morning.
Yeah, I think that was plastic.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, man.
And I have another one that Magic the Gathering got in some serious heat with the Pinkertons.
Oh yeah, yeah. What the baddies from Red did, they're still a fucking around.
Yeah, dude, 170 years. Holy shit.
Yeah, I saw a video of a guy talking about. Yeah, they're around for 170 years, and I think they threw a lawsuit at the Rockstar for Red Dead Redemption. Like, we don't want to be the fucking baddies and everything. Stop.
Too bad your history
And then
is there forever.
Rockstar hit a gritty.
They're like,
said
we
no.
don't give two. They're like, we don't give two shits. You do. Once that shit's in the internet, it's never going away. We're not.
Wait, I'm trying to understand this whole thing. What?
All right. So, Wizards of the Coast, they were releasing a new product called March of the Machines Aftermath. There's a guy who was like ordering like the first product of just called March of the Machines.
Correct.
And since Wizards have like this hoopla of having shit names, like they're not good at naming new products.
Uh-huh.
And the people they are known that people misshift different products like a bit too early.
Yeah.
This guy got it. This guy didn't get his product, but he got the other one that it was about to be released like in a month.
Oh, okay. So
He opened it online. He opened it on stream, like online. It's like,
Mhm.
but I think it's already deleted. Wizards are not happy about it. So what they did is the most intelligent thing by calling in the Pinkertons and go and send them to his house to terrify his wife and confiscate all of his products, like the new one that isn't supposed to be released.
Yo, I'm
they
so
threat-
happy that's not happening for GW.
And they threaten him for
rather than
jail
get
time.
a hold of the guy and like compensate him or anything. Nope. Take your shit.
No,
No money back.
they
Fuck
did not.
you.
And the funniest thing is that one of the agents gave him like a card to talk to one of the higher ups of Wizards, and everybody just knows like in his comment it's like super like it's super not like staged, but like he's trying to hide it because if he says anything like the actual truth of the comment is like he was talking to the Wizards guy, he'd be like he will be sent to jail. He could, on his comment that he says like, oh, this Wizards guy, he's like super nice. He didn't do. He was so thoughtful and
I
everything.
don't.
Even after
Here,
that, I was
maybe
even
maybe it's
after
ignorance.
my house, even though my house was broken down by
Maybe it's
these
ignorance.
big guys.
What the fuck are the Pinkertons?
They are
Bad guys from
a
Red Dead.
very. They
And
are a
real
very
life now.
illegal. They're a very illegal detective agency.
What you're telling me is Wizards of the Coast could get a lawsuit for being part of a conspiracy to assault someone. You just played out to me.
Essentially.
Cool.
Right, because they didn't they didn't say anything. They just sent cops to his house.
Bad cops.
Did they
Something
send
on
cops?
their end.
Did they send cops, or was it like a guy? Did they send like an agency, like a
No,
third part,
no,
like not a law enforcement agent, but like a private eye?
Yeah.
kind of a private.
Okay,
but,
yeah, they can go down for conspiracy.
But they're very. Their methods are pretty not okay. Like imagine them like interrogating you by breaking your fingers without actually talking to you. That's how bad they are. And again, they terrified
They
his wife.
will CIA on the dude.
Oh yeah, like Black Ops.
Yeah, they've come. Yeah, fuck. Well, Wizard of the Coast is gonna have a good lawsuit.
Finally.
Wizards of the Coast is gonna have a good lawsuit. It's gonna be fun.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I want to see them burn.
Wizards of the Coast?
Oh yes, they ruined D&D. Now they sent
I would like
the
you. I
Pinkertons.
would like you to
that
explain
they're
to me
not
how they
that are
ruined
not supposed
D&D.
that are not supposed to be the D&D thing. Remember the race thing? Like half elves, half orcs
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Oh yeah, they're burning
They're-
that shit too.
They're declaring that it's racist to the point that they're banning the half thing because they still believe that black people look like orcs.
Yeah, they're calling all
I'm not
people
joking.
who are
I'm
who
aware. I'm
not
share
joking.
nationalities
I'm not-
racist. Like, oh, you're a random dude who's half black, half white. You're racist just for existing.
I'm not joking. This is real.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm aware that that's the stereotype. I don't think that could really call it.
It was getting bad to the point that the minority, like the black community, are getting upset by those who are declaring like, yeah, you should be mad because those orcs, and black people's like, I look like an orc to you?
See, I have a problem with anyone governing anything that I want. If it's at my table, I govern whatever the fuck I play and say goes down. Right? Isn't that like what a DM's whole job is? Like this is my game, I bend the game to whatever my game is.
Yeah.
If you want to play your half orc race to be a stereotype, okay, you can do that. If you don't, that's also acceptable. Okay? That's a thing. I see no problem with that either which way. I think that just people are snowflakes and not snowflakes. What is the correct word?
They're so sensitive.
Why?
Not snowflake.
They're
Why
soft.
the hell would you let people outside of the group dictate what the group should do?
Exactly. I appreciate you, Ranger. Thank you for putting that in my head. For saying that.
Like
Exactly.
honestly, Wing King,
Yeah.
who cares?
Exactly. Why do you care what other people are playing?
Why do I care?
Correct.
It's affecting the actual game to the point that they're
Well, you see,
they're
here's the
editing
thing
the
about that.
actual
Here's
rule
the
book.
thing about that. You don't have to play those versions of the game.
Exactly.
You can play whatever version of the game you fucking want, brother.
Exactly.
You don't have to play any of the new garbage that comes out that's been wokeified. Is that the term here? You don't have to
I think
play
it's
any of
wokeified.
that shit. You know, if you're up to, if you
what it's
keep absolutely up to date with every single version of D&D, regardless, because you want to be up to date,
Yeah.
like,
think it's called-
you don't gotta play those versions,
Is
brother.
that gatekeeping? Yeah, gatekeeping.
Yeah, it's a gatekeeping thing,
think-
and it's the single
Like, finish your
stupidest
drink.
thing ever. Like I kind of hate it. Like that when I originally heard about that, I was like, cool. Who is this for? I was like, if a DM or a player has an issue with it, I assume you've already talked to your DM or it's a problem. I think it was just something, somebody wanted to be, what is it? Get their 15 minutes of fame, and just it got way too big. And you know how Wizards of the Coast is with handling stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
Kind of hate that too.
Even-
I think about it.
even if like you do want to play the newer versions that have those systems in play or moved, like as a DM, it's like you have the full creative freedom to modify the system to your game.
Exactly. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
And like I get it. It's tarnishing the name of Dungeons and Dragons, and shit's happening. But that's kind of that's happening to kind of everything at this point.
Yeah.
And B, it's like I said earlier, you play the systems you want to play. You only, you accept the history that you want to accept. That's the power of it being your world and your game and all that stuff. And you know what I mean?
Ooh,
Yeah.
this needs to be a good transition to something. Oh shit.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
what do you got,
I'll
Wes?
let you transition because I had a transition to it as well.
Transition now.
Transmission.
Transmission.
Hey.
I'm sorry, I was loud, baby. I apologize.
Let's annoy the hell out of the algorithm.
Go ahead, Weiss.
The
Do your thing.
podcast immediately fucking dies.
Guys, we all get fucking shot in the back of the head.
That is where we move to Rumble.
Come on, Weiss. Do your transition. Come on.
What do you got, brother?
Well, my transition is the video I posted not too long ago by a guy called Dumbsville who I watch frequently. The video is talking about, do fan bases kill the product, whether
Yes.
it be video
Ooh.
games, movies, whatever.
You know what? There is this. I always feel like every community has a subset that just fucking is like toxic as shit. But I don't think it's the whole community.
I think
Yes.
it entirely depends on the size of the fan.
agree.
Because the bigger something
there's-
gets, the more toxicity it's gonna get.
I have two
There's
examples. I have two
leech
examples
on
that
the
recently
belly.
happened. The FNAF franchise, and the D&D group. the exact same thing. I have more examples, but those are the two that come to mind. The biggest thing, again, to Wise's point, all that stuff about drow and half orcs and all that shit being objectified, quote air quotes, to be a certain thing. K. And all of like the FNAF community is such a huge community that there are like what would it be called? Not subreddits, but like sub fandoms, like a fandom inside of a fandom.
Oh, like a subsection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That are just
subsection,
the
subfaction,
worst
whatever.
fucking thing, and it makes me absolutely cringe at the fact that I'm a part of this community because of it.
Yeah, there's
It's
always
not
a
like-
leash on the
it's
belly
not-
to everything.
it's-
Depends on how big that
it's
leash
not-
is what you should keep an eye out for.
Correct.
It's not
Do
only
you
that.
feed the leech or
that's
do
like-
you feed the thing?
I have another one. I have another example.
it's-
The Rick
that's
and
not
Morty
only
thing.
that.
About
not
about
Rick
the
and
one
Morty.
about the guy who wanted the Szechuan sauce at McDonald's and stood on the counter and fucking was screaming and rolling around that he wanted Szechuan sauce. Like the average Rick and Morty guy is not gonna do that. You get me?
No. The funny
But-
thing is that guy, he was doing it as a bit.
Well, yeah, exactly. But it paints. There are people that are actually like that in that community.
Yeah. Like on that part of what you're talking about with the subsection, they're like the most toxic, the most disgusting.
Mhm.
They tend to be the most loudest to the point that it kind of ruins the fandom.
Huh? It sounds like we deal with that daily in like everyday life. I don't know if I want to start getting
It's not-
political real quick.
Mm,
The squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Exactly.
yeah, but there are some fandoms that are like they don't
Don't
have
make
like
me
the
go
most
down this
toxic,
road,
and they tend to be not the
Alex.
loudest.
Don't
They
make
tend
me
to be
go
not the
down this
loudest.
road.
And like for example, Bionicle.
Okay.
You don't hear like that many toxic people. There are like a lot of good ones.
I
And
also
if
wanna-
there's ever one,
I
they're
do-
like they are exiled.
Okay, I do have one thing about that. I don't know a lot about the community, and I think that has a lot to say about it. That again, I think its size matters, because if you're a
Yeah,
smaller
yeah.
community, like if you're a much smaller community in like a group, a lot of people are like kind of the same mentality, the same ideas. But once you get to a level where it's like millions of people, several millions of people, it kind of gets to that where it's inevitable. There's going to be a group of in that subsect that are going to be the loud minority most of the time, the loud minority of people that paint the fandom in the worst light. Go ahead.
Here's my example. Look at like big AAA games versus indie games. Look at a game like Fortnite versus a game like Deep Rock Galactic.
Mhm.
Fortnite has so many fucking players in it. You're inevitably going to have
Oh.
a lot of really toxic people. Deep Rock Galactic,
Oh, yeah.
although I think it's kind of an outlier. I guess that's not really the best game to really look at. Like, I guess Terraria might be a better
I would
game.
say Terraria.
Yeah, Terraria. Minecraft, maybe
Minecraft now is
Java in
too
the
big.
modded community,
Yeah.
but it's like smaller indie games that don't have nearly as big as a following tend to be a lot more compassionate than bigger games like Fortnite or Call of Duty or Fallout? Question
Well,
mark?
yeah,
I was gonna
I'm
say no.
unsure
I
about that one.
100% Fallout has its issues. Trust me, I've been there.
Right. Yes, the compare and contrast to games like let's compare like Deep Rock Galactic devs to Battlefield devs.
Yeah, no,
Deep Rock
it's,
Galactic doesn't have a huge span, but their group is tight knit because the community is generally fucking positive. Yeah, there's always a leech at the bottom, like I said, but they care for the group. They talk with them. They get interviewed.
they're
Like
far and few between
they're-
the ones that are bad eggs when they're a smaller group. I also
Right.
Kinda
think,
like
while
like that.
Battlefield devs
Go
are
ahead.
like, you don't like our game, don't buy it. Fuck you if you don't like it. You're istophobe or whatever if you don't play our game. For like Battlefield 1 or whatever.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's gotten to a point where, like, no matter what, like the particularly, and it's not just video games. It's it's what movie you like to watch, what the movies you watch, the food you eat. There's always someone, if it's big enough, that's gonna shit on it, right? And then there's a love. Go ahead.
Let's rewind a little bit back to the original question of does a fan base ruin a game? And because we started talking about the developers of the game, like developers of DRG versus Battlefield, but I think I think they feed into the other. If a game gets big enough and has enough toxic people complaining about shit, the developers are going to inevitably try to please those people.
I have an example of that exact thing. 2 examples now, actually. I think about it.
I was gonna say Battlefield 5, but what do you got?
Battlefront 2.
Original release, right?
Original
Or in
release
general?
original release versus a year later a year and a half later when they released the Clone Wars and did all the fixes with all of the like loot boxes and all that shit change, because the community itself as a unit changed that.
That seemed like a change for the better, though.
Correct. And I'm not saying it's always bad.
Because I guess my point is like it's like developers are never going to listen to the, maybe not necessarily when a game is already released, like when Battlefront released and they had all this crazy shit in it, and then eventually it became a good game. More about like in the game's developmental process.
Oh,
Stuff
okay. I
gets
see what
released,
you mean.
trailers and shit.
Oh,
People are gonna
like Yandere
cry
does.
out and complain, and developers are going to change the game based off of the squeaky wheel. And so when the game releases, it's full of the shit that the people who actually are going to play the game and aren't just complaining because of touchy subjects. The people who actually play the game are going to be like, "What the fuck is this shit?" I feel like do I have any specific examples of that?
Wait, I have one.
Go
A
ahead.
Sonic movie.
That's a good example, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they basically got bullied.
That's all.
Oh, yeah, and
but
then
that's
Chip and Dale
also a
Chipmunks brought that.
change for the better,
Talked
though.
about that.
Well, yeah, no.
You can't make
Again,
fun of me if I'm in on the joke.
what was the question again? If I may ask again. The
The
original.
original question
Yeah.
was, do fan bases make games worse? Right?
Or do they kill the franchise? I think. Let me double check. But yeah, there's a lot more to the video that will hopefully go more on. It's on the rec list.
I should have watched that video.
Yeah, I should have. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
do fan bases ruin art?
Okay.
Art in general. So I
By-
guess that also includes
by
video games, music,
Dumbsville.
movies, and all that shit. Okay.
I
should
highly recommend
probably-
people watch it and get your take on it, because we're getting the cliff notes of what I have watched, and we're kind of talking about it amongst ourselves. I highly recommend everybody here and watching this to watch the video on Dumbsville about this.
Gotcha.
Even though he's a shitty meme lord, he's a meme channel. He watched all Fred movies
Yeah.
of the guy called Butters. He's a meme channel.
But there's times
but
that I do
does
remember
have
the
merit.
channel. I do remember the channel, but and there are times that he did put like serious topics, like fan base thing that you're referring to.
Yes, he does talk about serious topics, but in general, his channel is pretty just
It's just a
like
it's like a
1,000 loud memes.
Yeah.
Loud equals funny, kinda.
Yeah. I was just putting the topic at the bottom. Yeah, no. Most of the time when people when a fan base kind of does have an outcry, it's typically for the better. I don't have any really examples where, as a unit, like they affect it negatively. When I think of fan bases that get really, I guess, toxic, again it goes back to I think the level of the fandom. And I always sort of back to this one because I think it's the most notorious one. It's one of the biggest ones that we know. It's the FNAF franchise, right? Like, the amount of people that have come out to be pedophiles and grooming kids and stuff in that
Right, or man children, like people who act like 14 when they're 32.
yeah, is absolutely insane in a fandom of what it is. Of its
It's not
size
only
and
just
magnitude.
FNAF.
Oh no, but it's the
No,
example that I have.
I do
It's the
like
example
the
that I have.
lore of Five Nights at Freddy's. It's
I
cool.
think that's
yeah,
the
it's
example.
kind of rough
I
waters
think what
to
it does is
admit
I think what it
people,
does
like,
is I think part of it is like the franchise itself. It oh, hi baby. It really depends on, I guess, how big it is and the subject matter, or how divisive a subject matter can and can't be.
well, in the video, he talks about Star Wars for a portion of it, like in the early beginning,
Ooh, that's a good one too.
and he said, like about like Disney, or not, sorry, not Disney, about like Star Wars kind of as a whole doesn't really talk about video games, more about the movie franchise.
Mhm.
And a part he pulled up I believe, an autistic kid wearing a Star Wars shirt talking to a guy who said he hates Star Wars. He's like, as a fellow autistic Lego Obi-Wan, I fucking love Star Wars. However, I'm not going to cry over someone not liking it because it's entirely their choice.
Yeah, that's that.
And he said as he grew up watching the old movies with his mom, and he said, just in order to enjoy a thing proper, you don't have to enjoy the thing the right way. You can enjoy it however you want. You don't need, if you want to enjoy the original Star Wars, you don't need to get an old VHS player, spend a shit ton of money, get the old VHS and watch it straight from to enjoy it properly. You can get from watching the newer stuff on DVD or, God forbid, Disney Plus, but still, You can watch it however you want and enjoy it the way you want. You don't need to gatekeep that necessarily.
I see.
You
I see what you mean.
should watch the old ones that way, but you don't have to.
Yeah, I understand what you're
Eh,
trying to say. Like, there's definitely a way like purists want to do things, but that's not the only way you can or should do it. You know, you could enjoy your community however you feel fit. I think there's also a line in that too, where if it hurts someone else, I think that's the line. You get me? I think
Yeah.
the point being is like once you start affecting, like, you can enjoy whatever content it is, either a piece of art, to a TV show, to a video game, to however you feel like it. I feel like is when you start affecting other people, it's when it's when it can potentially become a problem. Like, it's one thing to have a conversation with someone. It's like, oh, I didn't like this about this movie, or oh, I really like this. Why don't you think, and have a conversation. It's another thing to be, oh, I didn't like this part of the movie, and for the next 45 minutes, I want to make fun of you because you like this movie. I think that's a problem. You get me? And still being a member in the community.
Yeah.
Like, I remember again, and I do have this fault for shitting on particularly the episode 9. There's people who for Star Wars. People love that film from top to bottom, and I don't judge them for liking it. Okay? As personally, I have my feelings for it, but I don't want to project those on someone else. You get me? And I think that's a big thing about
Yeah.
being a part of a community, is understanding that everyone is different and everyone can have their own taste and enjoy it. And there's just people that can't. I got a saddle. Yay. Sorry.
I think that I haven't quite had the words to articulate this, but going, the question of just, do the fan bases make art worse? Certain people love to complain.
Mhm.
So you're going to inevitably, and this is kind of regurgitating stuff again, bigger fan bases, you're going to get more people, and there's going to be more people who are just going to complain for complaint's sake. Even those people who actually don't participate in the content or actually are involved in the art, they're just going to complain because X offends them, or X, they have issues with X. So it's all about, do the people who make the art listen to the complainers?
Yeah, and I think some people do, and I think that could be good. It could be taken positively, or it also could be taken negatively. You get me? Look at the
And
What?
because stuff can get bigger, the bigger a thing is and the bigger audience it has, the more people that complain, there's going to be a precedent to fix whatever the people that are complaining about. The bigger something is, there's more pressure there is to actually do something about it and not just ignore them. Especially from, like, if it's big enough, like news media outlets and that kind of shit. That's a whole nother type of pressure.
yeah, that's
be
also
as a resultant of that. Go ahead.
I also feel like that's also a big thing that we didn't discuss. It's also how people spin it. You get me? Because like it could be something. Again, you could be
Yes.
the minority in a group. You get me? A very small minority in a group, and that's what a news outlet, BuzzFeed, or one of these bigger news sites report. Oh, this fandom is doing this. Oh, somebody should do something about it. You get me? Again, circling it back to how we started this conversation about like how D&D thing. Like, I guarantee that group that feels that way about those races being the way that they are,
What the fuck did I come back from my shower to hear?
do fan bases make their is it franchises worse? That's what I have.
Art
Do
in general.
ruin art, essentially.
art in
Yeah,
general.
but yes, franchises in general.
But
Okay, does what do what?
do fan bases make art worse?
Subjective.
And art can be like games or movies or actual art or music or anything really.
Oh.
Right,
Yeah.
and in general, he ended the video with saying yes and no. Franchises can kill their thing, but also fan bases can also tear down that shit from the floor up.
Yes, and that was I think what I was trying to grind myself to is we're like, I think it's really up to the community itself,
I got
and
hot
like
in my room.
also to look at something very objectively and be like, So this is what is being reported. Do we actually feel like this? I don't feel like this, or maybe I do feel like this. All right, and then it's letting you want to. I think it's taking what people say at face value versus doing some research. And I think that's what a lot of things happen nowadays is people see a headline and they believe it's true without reading, doing any more research, looking into what's going on. So, oh, everybody's having a problem with the D&D and how racist they are. We had a conversation right now. Who is it affecting? You get me?
Yeah.
It doesn't affect us.
It's literally
played-
the
we-
story.
We all play.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. It's not necessarily the problem of the fan base complaining. It's what the people outside the fan base perceive.
Yeah, there you go.
Because they're
Thank you.
not going to actually dig into the issue. This kind of goes into the greater aspect of people's attention spans have kind of been worn down over the years. But people don't read stories. They just kind of see the headline like, oh yeah, no, fuck that. So it's like, and that kind of goes into my point earlier of people are going to read headlines. They're going to start complaining as well, and the developer is going to be under even more pressure, or whoever's making the thing, to address it or to be more, to use the phrase woke or whatever.
I also think that that's such a bad take on everything too. Like going woke. It's such a thing about it. Like there's no. Why can't we just enjoy it the way we enjoy it? If I enjoy Star Wars a certain way, and you enjoy it a different way, I should not shit on you for enjoying it a certain way, right? But that doesn't mean that
Right.
because you like it a certain way, I want to change it.
Star Wars.
Because
If
I
it's
think
Star
this, I think this is wrong. You get me?
But
Yeah.
not everybody's going to be on that same page as you.
I know.
People are going to shit on you because you enjoy it a certain way, or because you enjoy this franchise, even though they see X in it. They see like, oh, it's to use very charged words, racist or misogynistic or transphobic or whatever the fuck words they want to use. Like, even if you enjoy it, they see all those things in it, and because they see all the things in it, they're going to apply those same labels to the fan base.
I also see something about that as well, where a thing can let's say, for example, you want to tell a story, and you want some effects of those things. Like, let's say you want to speak about racism and you don't want to directly use an African American. I understand that going again for the orc thing, cool. You get me? But my idea being is basically is also knowing when it's being used to offend or to story tell something, mean. Like I guess my point being is using it how people use it as well. If people are trying to be offensive with it, and I think that's kind of where the gray area is what you think is offensive is. I feel like I'm gonna circle to back again to Star Wars, the episode 9. There's I think like maybe a 4-second scene at the end of the movie. Spoilers. Where there's a lesbian kiss.
Okay, we're going to watch it anyways. All right.
There's a lesbian kiss at the end for 4 seconds. Okay? It doesn't even linger.
Yeah.
Everybody's celebrating. It was just it was a kiss because it was celebrating. Cool. 90% of us didn't give a shit. I'm pretty sure of it. Because like, cool, they're celebrating.
Yeah,
it makes sense in the scene. Cool. It'd be another thing if it was like, oh, we're going to pan here on this couple for the next 30, 40 seconds for you guys to really know that there's two ladies in Star Wars kissing.
Celebratory 3-hour-long
softcore
lesbian
porn
sex
section.
scene.
That's what you
Exactly.
call it.
Exactly. Thank you.
Hours.
For 3 hours nonstop. Like,
Yeah, somebody
is
that make you
something
question, did I download the right movie?
Am I my fingers right now?
how is this much better than what I actually watched?
This isn't Star Wars. This is anal sex. No.
This is
Why is there a
gay.
cup?
He's
Why
just
is there a
like, I mean,
couple-
what's the difference?
Why is there a cup involving this?
What's that Twilight gonna do with her tentacles? Oh no, not there!
Yeah. See?
So stuff like
Exactly.
this, man.
And I know a lot of people would make
Oh
just
my
saying
God.
those jokes. Some people were gonna get offended by that. Like, To
Fuck
each again, yeah. First off, fuck you. I'm enjoying it how I want to enjoy it. If I want to make fun of things, I can make fun of things. But it's another thing of where
Look here, I'm a semi-degenerate. Oh fuck! I put my bet on wrong.
Semi-degenerate.
I was about to say
Yeah, I was about to say,
semi.
look who you're a part of. Look at our name. Say it again. Semi?
I'm 100% retarded. Sorry. I respect after my first name.
The only thing semi you are is in size.
Pat,
Oh.
good question.
I'll have
I want-
you know,
I
my
will send
brain
you-
is
I really
perfect
want this
size of a peanut.
Let me
Okay.
pause my game real quick.
Don't
Hey,
worry, I am too.
Are you gonna take that sitting down?
I don't want to be an asshole, but look here, wise. At least I've had the Minecraft sex update. All right.
Oof.
Well, it's easy for you. You're in a state with 1 million people per block.
Motherfucker, we are practically the same fucking size, dog.
No,
Well,
we are not.
Steve,
You are
apparently.
5 foot something. I am 6'6".
We're all the same size in Minecraft.
Exactly.
Hey, Pat. To
On the
answer-
new update,
and
you
Pat,
Unless
to
you got
answer your
mods
question,
installed.
can change your
Here
size
you
and
go.
height.
There's an article right there. Take that. Take that as you will.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I dropped an article. in
Enderman mod.
I literally looked up people.
100%
I
take it
literally
at face
just looked
value.
up people mad at kissing in Star Wars, and I have like 1,400 results in.
The only people that are gonna be mad at the lesbian kissing scene is China.
Yeah.
To the point that they'll just delete it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No,
Yeah, and,
it's not
and
them.
Middle
Disney
Eastern
did
countries
that.
as well.
Yeah, and you know what?
It's-
And you
And
know,
China.
homophobes.
and you know,
China did not delete it. It was Disney because they want Chinese money.
yeah. You know what I say to that? Fuck them.
Don't get me started on
Fuck.
fucking China.
Yeah, let's
No,
not get
it's
started
not. I
on
want to
China.
say.
China.
I wouldn't say anything about the China. I would say that to Disney to the point that they don't have the balls to keep the kissing.
No, because at the end of the day,
to-
they want to
for
make
the
the
Chinese
monies,
version.
and nobody's gonna stop watching.
It doesn't
Disney.
matter.
That's the problem. No, it does matter to their bottom line. Okay.
If they
Should
want,
they do?
if they want
yeah.
to have a kiss in it, they should keep it there. That's my opinion.
To be honest, I'm not surprised, or I'm kind of surprised they didn't put Ryan Gosling as Black Panther when they released Black Panther in China, because they covered up his
Oh.
face entirely in their poster,
100%.
and for the
sure.
Star Wars
Oh,
thing, they cut out Finn entirely from the poster, or that or
No, they did not
microscopic
cut.
poster.
Hold on, hold
They
on.
make them. They microscopic him.
Before we get too far off track here, did Disney want the kiss scene? I don't know if they did or not. I think
I don't think
that's like
Disney
just
cares.
a being inclusive thing.
Yeah.
Like they put it in
I'm-
there to please
A
the
demographic.
people who are looking for stuff like that. Yeah, the demographic. There you go. Great word. They
I'm
did
sure
that
Bob
for the
Iger
Western
Ball
audience who are
still
going to be
talks
looking
about
for
it.
that,
Kinda.
but they removed it for the Chinese audience because that's a no-no in China. They literally are manipulating their own movie and their own product to get the most cash out of wherever the hell it's going to be made. They didn't want to put the sex. No, they did want to put it in there because they wanted to pander to us, or not
Correct.
us, but like the Western audience
audience.
with
The
the more
Western
woke
audience,
side
yeah.
stuff. And then they took it out for China because that's more profitable in China. Like Arsenal said, bottom line.
Yeah, bottom line, man. Money. People are gonna money however they can see fit. And again, look, to
I
each
don't
their
know
own.
how many strokes you had saying that.
How many of you actually? It hurt. A Fortune 3 book for 42 emeralds. God damn. Sorry, Minecraft. But yeah, no, it's so like the scene didn't do anything. It didn't change if it was there or not. Okay, it just added more to it. You know what I mean? It was just like you already have the ice cream sundae. Everybody's celebrating, cool, and you just started adding more toppings. Fine, whatever. It didn't ruin my Star Wars. You get me? But
You
like,
know what? You know what? I think there is something that really killed it. Like, well, not just like on episode 9, but like the sequel trilogy.
I can tell you exactly what it
for
was, but you're not gonna like it.
The last Jedi. The Last Jedi is what was it? It's Finn's sacrifice. That's what killed it.
I don't remember.
Repeat that again. 'Cause you
That
kind of
or
broke
the
up.
very
Honestly,
that-
I agree with you.
that or
Like-
that or episode 7. It's that one too because that's supposed to be Finn's movie, but they sidelined it because they says like, nah, Finn's not gonna be like a favorable
Can I
character.
give you the exact
We need
answer of why
Rey.
the season
It's
last-
one of the.
the-
It's one of the two.
do you know why the trilogy failed? not financially because they made tons of fucking money, but as a
Well, of
as a
course.
continuation as a stuff for the story of it. It's not because they had a new character. It's not because of that. Because they had zero direction.
There's no good writing. There's no control.
No. That's wrong. If you watch the movies by themselves as individual movies, they're decent movies. Not knowing anything else of what things mean. They are
I'll say that's
watchable.
subjective.
They're not A class movies, but they are watchable movies. Okay.
Episodes.
I'll give
I'd
you
say
that. They're
that
watchable.
episode.
They're not. They're good.
That's-
They're eye candy.
Like-
I'll give you that. It's
Let
good.
me
Yeah.
explain.
eye
Let me explain this to you. Let me
Turn
explain
on
this
the
to
worse
you.
brain
to
and
be
watch a
rewatchable.
movie with some
Let
good
me
special
repaint.
effects.
Let me repaint some of
Okay.
these movies. All right, particularly for episode 7. All right, you instead of it being under the Star Wars title, you have a female protagonist, who is a tough character, who is living out and alone in the galaxy, and it's by happenstance, gets has the misfortune, to
It was her destiny.
yeah, to be a I don't know what the fucking word is from the Star Wars thing, but to be this I'm having a stroke. Arthurian hero. Okay, and they are faced
Yeah.
with several trials, and they pick up friends along the way, and then you have a mentor character. Then you have the thing. If you start painting it instead of it being, oh, it's a Star Wars movie, so you need X, Y, and Z. If you paint it as just what a movie is, they're not bad movies. Episode 8 is a great chase movie.
As if it's independent, it has nothing to do with Star Wars. You are right
Yes, and that's
for
what I'm trying to
episode
get.
8. 'Cause it looked,
Yeah.
to be honest,
Right,
it
in a
looks
vacuum
good.
by itself.
Exactly.
It
In a
looks
vacuum,
fine.
great films.
It's
Great films
pretty
is
as
right.
hell.
They're good films. They're watchable. They you can enjoy them without the context of Star Wars. As
I have to say, episode 8 is a very pretty movie.
correct, it's visually thing. I like the story that's in it because you feel tense in the movie because that whole scene is literally them running out of gas and trying to outrun these fucking things. The entire movie's like that, from point A to point B, and that's it. Okay, to the very end when we get the final scenes. Like, if you just paint that as like you're being chased and there's a clock coming, you get me? There's a clock coming. You know it's coming. You know the shark's coming. You get me? It's just a matter of time before it finds you, right? If you paint it like that,
You know
they're
what?
great.
It's kind of like a Star Trek thing, because Star Trek, they're like they have to constantly worry about ammunition and fuel.
Mhm.
But in Star Wars, there is no need. There is no need for to panic on fuel. Like you're just like, once the fuel's all gone, you're just stuck in space.
Well, here's the thing, Plastic Wing King. Star Trek is science fiction. Star Wars is science fantasy.
Thank you.
They don't have
Yeah.
to worry about that shit because it's about the story. Star Trek has deeper. I don't want to say lore, like deeper, not
I think
deeper
it has
lore,
deeper
but like
sci-
a more
more
refined
science-based.
system of what's going on because it's science fiction. Star Wars is about telling a story.
Correct.
I guess Star Trek is too, but it's
It's how they handle their
different-
telling of the story.
Different
There's
yes.
science, particularly science fiction movies, are more movies that are grounded in some basis of science. Though you can kind of hand wave some of the more technological things by, getting there. Star Wars and there's another sci fantasy movie that I was like Dune. Dune is
I
another
don't
one.
know. Battlestar Galactica? No.
No, that's more sci-fi.
That's a series.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, Star Wars has a lot. And here's
Star
the thing.
Wars and
here's
Dune
the
are the
thing.
ones
It's
that come
like
to mind to me.
there are explanations for things, if people look for it, but
It does-
like how do the ships do interstellar travel in the movies? That's not really explained, is it? At least not in detail. But there are explanations out there in like expanded lore.
Mhm.
But that's not important for the movie to operate. And I
Mhm.
guess Star Trek there isn't really like that either. But
Right. Star Trek is something that I like to call lawyers sci-fi, because in order for me as a person who's relatively out, I kind of delve once in a while into Star Trek. For me, it's just so much jargon I can't really watch it. But it's kind of a space detective show, kinda, or at least for what season was it with Picard? Not the new one, Picard, but the old one, the old TV show with Picard and his crew.
Generation.
Next generation.
Next gen. Yeah.
Next
I'll say
generation.
Next Generation. Yeah, I'll say objectively the most well known,
Yes.
or at least in the circles I'm around.
Yeah,
That is
I'd agree.
that is lawyers sci-fi, because it's, oh yeah, here's the mortal parsecs with the gibbly gock and gibbly goo with the flan race, and it's a bunch of little pins and little things that if you miss for 1 second, you are, for me, completely lost. That's
Well,
why
here-
I can't really get into it all too often, because it's just so much jargon that, like, blink and you miss it.
I also think
Here's
And it's a
you know,
bunch,
no,
and
here's
it's like, oh yeah, the flux versus Star Wars. Oh yeah, the flux patterns fucked. All right, I'll rewire it. It's an everybody thing. Yes, it's science fantasy, but it's, for me, digestible science fantasy.
I have one.
I don't know. I don't know if I
Because
100% agree with that.
I also
like-
don't agree with it, but
Because I read a book that explained a lot of the technology of Star Trek. It was like an engineer's guide about like all the tech and shit that happened. But one line that sticks with me that I don't remember the rest of the book besides this one line, and it was like, even though this is the technology of the world, it is up to you to make the story. Like the technology is just a backdrop to the story of it. Like Star Trek's, story, I think can. Not to discredit you, Wise, because I know there is a lot more to Star Trek. You kind of have to understand a little more about the universe and how it works and all that stuff. I do acknowledge that. But it's like, I think that the story can be taken in a vacuum and you can understand it. I guess it also depends on the series. I love Next Generation. That is my series I love the best. I know some people are also like Deep Space Nine more than the rest, but I watched a lot of Deep Space Nine. Where am I going with this?
Personally, I prefer Next Gen.
Yeah.
Mostly because Picard. I like him.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
his
I think that's like the best series, like
But
Next Gen.
this-
But I'm sure. Go ahead, you may.
Just say I'm a Deep Space Nine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You watched Next Gen too, right?
Yeah. I also watched the original
Oh yeah,
and the original
series.
movies.
What would you say that that Deep Space Nine has over like Next Gen or any of the other ones? What makes Deep Space Nine stand out, in your opinion, at least?
Man, what I like it a lot more is it has a lot of great characters.
Ooh.
And even though like Star Trek is about a positive future where humanity is all come together, there's no problems.
Mm-hmm.
It still shows some of that darker.
Ooh.
interesting.
Basically saying that Deep Space Nine's grittier than the previous Star Treks.
I guess.
Interesting. Right? It is because
I really gotta watch Deep Space Nine.
I also so I have an honest perspective where I've never gotten into Star Trek, and I think for the same reason Wise is. I think because you can kind of hand wave a lot of things from Star Wars. Oh, it's this, and they name it once, and it doesn't affect your enjoyment of the story. You get me? But for Star Trek, I think you need a base level a set of knowledge of understanding science, or the ability to
Not
understand
really.
it. Well, again, I don't know if it's true or
Yeah.
not because I haven't actually spent enough time to watch.
I
it.
just got into Star Trek like a year ago.
Okay, cool. Well, that's
okay.
interesting. Okay, because I've always had I've always had the feeling that that's how it is. I did watch a couple episodes with you guys, with Ranger Senior, and I kind of got it, kind of understood. I felt like I was missing some stuff. I was like, maybe if I would just sit down and kind of spend my time to do it, I could do it. You get me? But it's not like I can just. Well, again, I think this is also part of just preference, again too. Because like I can just put on, like earlier today I was just watching a fucking what movie was I watching? I was watching X-Men Dark Phoenix. Just randomly. I hadn't watched the other ones. I just kind of just was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna just put this on. Never seen the film. I didn't even finish it actually. Now that I think about it, but it was one of those things where like I understand enough baseline that I even though I don't know what the setup is or how we got to this point, I have a baseline understanding. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So someone said it earlier. I don't remember who had said it, but it's like that basic understanding of what's going on and how Star Trek has a little more.
I think it has a
It
little bit
has
more
more
barrier
I
going
want to
on
say
point
entry.
you need to
consistency,
out.
but like a more of an actual explanation behind things. And if you're not aware about like the war with the Klingons, or if you're not aware of what a Romulan is, you might not pick up on the stuff that happens. But I think the beauty of it is that once you do know all those things, stuff makes more sense. It's like higher barrier to entry,
But more
I
rewarding.
think.
Yeah, I think higher barrier to entry
Hey,
is
mid.
what it is. At least for me.
Say again, anywhere? I
I'd
think.
say like mid entry.
'Cause
Yeah.
I now want to compare this science fiction thing to one of the ones that I've recently got into that required a shit ton of fucking understanding of what the fuck is going on. And it's Warhammer 40,000. Like comparing those three different
Ooh.
series, like Star Wars, it seems like a very low entry. You can convince someone to sit down and watch a Star Wars film, or it is a much easier. There's a much like slower. I think it also has to do a lot with pop culture. I can't fucking spell, guys. Fuck it. It's like that, and where I see Star Trek, it's kind of like that middle ground where it's a little it's required a little bit more for you to get it, but once you've got it, the story means a lot more to you. And
Yes.
40K has such a lore wise, not the tabletop, just lore in general, has such a barrier to entry because there's so many factions, so much history, so much, and you need to know a lot of it to get why things are in motion.
I mean, even just some of the basic stuff, like the Imperium, and who is the God Emperor of mankind? Who is
Why do they
Horus
call him that?
Heresy,
who's
there's 12 fucking
Rollborn?
books.
Who's these what is chaos? What is who are the
Exactly.
Tau?
Yeah.
Who are all
Yeah.
that shit? It's like there's a lot to it.
Yeah,
Agreed.
and it requires so much more like effort to put into, and like when I think about it, like how much effort did I put into learning? I think about it right now, like beyond the tabletop, because I think the tabletop helped me quite a bit to look at what I wanted to do. But the thing about it is like now, I watch this is a shout out for them. I watch a different podcast. It's called Adept is Ridiculous with Bricky and DK.
Fuck yeah.
That's right.
Fucking
Yeah.
love those fuckers. And on my spare time, because I used to read a lot of audiobooks. I have a lot of audiobooks that I get.
I don't think you can consider that reading.
I listen to audiobooks.
Listen.
Okay, I listen to audiobooks, and I have a lot of Pathfinder books. I had a lot of
You're eating
Pathfinder
blended
books.
food.
I've listened to most of the Pathfinder tales that are on Amazon's thing, and it's a ton of them. I think that's also why I'm very knowledgeable in that headspace of that lore. Same thing with Star Wars. I have the Ahsoka novel. I have the novelization of Revenge of the Sith, which is almost nothing like the actual movie. And those things. And then once I got into that, that podcast particularly makes the lore of 40K much more digestible. Like if I needed to explain to Karina, which will never fucking happen, I would never have to. But if I had to explain who is the God Emperor of Man, I could put on this 30-minute video and it would be crystal clear because it is brought to a level where someone who's starting off can understand in very simpler terms.
Who
Right,
is
and
the
a lot of it-
who is the God Emperor of mankind? Bone Daddy.
Bone Daddy.
He's a corpse.
Corpse Daddy.
Corpse Daddy.
Yeah.
Bone Daddy. Yeah. Here's
And
the worst
perk
part of that
Warhammer
joke,
is
Ranger.
you can go as little or as much in depth as you can.
Mhm.
Because, if you want to explain, let's say, the Necrons, you could say they're ancient Egyptian robots from outer space. Plain 2. But I can also go, hey, there were once a flesh race that just have terminal cancer all the time that sold their souls to star-eating gods to become robots to fight their enemies and then took a big nap.
Again,
I'd say that's that's the perk for me for Warhammer is like, oh, you want to learn one thing? Here's everything you need to know about this one thing, digest it how you want when you want.
Explain
Whereas-
explain a tomb world to me.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
Which one?
yeah, 'cause that's ridiculous. Is
Which
Virtual
one?
Lifelong fan teaching
who's
DK a newbie about
Damn it.
Warhammer, and he gets it, and it's like an hour-long video, like a week now.
Who is this Robo Pokemon trainer?
Don't. Yeah, I fucking hate that. Why do
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
I
type of
love
show.
RoboCop.
why do these metal men have Pokeballs? Doesn't and it's I
That's
think
a resurrection orb. You see, it does this and this thing. It's made of this thing, and it
exactly
does this thing.
that's the exact
That's
point.
the thing.
Where like if you want to get again, it's like if Star Wars seems really accessible in the sense of I also think that pop culture has such a big effect on that because Star Wars
Actually,
now is everywhere. Like even back in the day
You
when
know
the sorry to cut you off, but when the sequel trilogy came, the prequel trilogy came out, and no one thought we were gonna get 3 more films. It skyrocketed and it was everywhere. All that whole generation of new kids got into it, and now as adults, we are completely excited to see more Star Wars. And I think because it's been in the pop culture zeitgeist? Is that the word?
Let's use Zeitgeist. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, that's a
so
good word.
synonymous that like even if you've never seen Star Wars, you know who Darth Vader is. You know what a stormtrooper looks like. You might not know
You know what a
what a
lightsaber is.
You know those basic things. You might not know who Ahsoka Tano is. You might not know who Captain Rex is. You might not know each of the planets. Cool, but there's such an easier because it's been such a big part of pop culture. I think that is a big thing for people to kind of lower the thing. And I do that same thing how I feel about 40K, where it's the exact opposite. Now it's becoming a
You know
much
what?
bigger thing. But like, let's
You
say
know what?
go ahead.
Continue.
You got it? I'm waiting
Go
on
ahead.
you.
Oh, for Star Wars, like you're saying, for like on Word 4 Hour 40K, it's like it's not friendly on entry level, but for Star Wars, it's kind of friendly. The weird thing is like it's also at the same time it could be like as complex as almost
Exactly,
to
yes.
Warhammer if you look at the books, because like the most entry level is either with the shows or the movies.
Well, no, I was gonna
But
say
once
just
you're
the
done with the
movies.
movies and the shows, you look deep down at the books. It's like, holy shit, there's more lore about this. What Darth Vader did, like he opened like he ripped up like a doorway in time to see his dead wife
Yo, that's
or something.
a really deep cut. Holy shit.
Holy shit.
That's a really deep cut. Holy shit, how you know
It's
about that? But like it's
Oh yeah,
it's
and it gets. And I think they also made a reference to that in one of the VR games
they did
when he actually ripped a hole in time.
with the moment and all that shit.
Yeah.
And again,
New
I think
info to me. Whew.
yeah, no, see again, like a base level, like again, babe. Do you know
Babe.
hey, babe, do you know who Darth Vader is?
Yes.
Okay, do you know who Ahsoka Tano is?
Who?
Thank you. Love you. Love you. Love you. And that's funny. Okay, so that was a trick question for her because she knows exactly who that is because she okay, I'm gonna make fun of you for a little like 30 seconds, babe. I was watching season 7.
2.5 hours.
Season
later.
7 came out and Ahsoka she was a big part of the arc or whatever, and Karina saw it, I think on one of her like Sims things,
Oh my god.
and she's read it as what did you say it?
Asuka.
Asuka, which okay,
What was
pause.
I
I want to pause that there because there's an important thing to that. She was saying Asuka. I did not. So there's a problem with that. She uses that name as well.
Out of spite or
No, not Karina. Ahsoka uses Asuka as a code name in her own book. So it's her exact name, exactly spelled the exact same way. But she says it Asuka. And it fucking I
Gotcha.
lost my shit the other day when I was listening to the Ahsoka novel, and I'm like, this what? Huh? So yeah, so Karina was saying Asuka, and I was making fun of her, like, that's not how you say it. And it got to a point where I betted her, like, I think it was like lunch. Like, if you say me this name how it's supposed to be said, or you buy me lunch.
I said it right.
She did. I did admit it took her a bit, but she got it. So that was good. And then it turns. I go back and review this thing, and it says that I'm like, ah, shit. Now I'm a dick. So I apologize, babe, for one.
Mm.
But like, you get my point. Like, it's like, yeah, she knows who Darth Vader is, but she's not a big Star Wars fan. She's not that, and it's like, you can get that. Can you name me a Primarch, babe?
No.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And
A
I
what?
think that's a Primarch. Can you name me one, fat boy?
The fuck is that?
Thank you. Appreciate it. You're making my
Dude,
point.
I don't. Dog, I paint
Ranger, can you
figures.
name me a Primarch?
Papa Smurf.
You know what? I'm gonna let that pass because I know who you're referring to. It's
couldn't tell you his
Robot
name.
it's
Gurley
Robert
Man.
Gurley, man. Robert Gurley, man.
Oh, Gulliman. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Robert Gurley, man, and his elf weeaboo.
Rogaldorn.
I hate that you go Rogordon. What the fuck, dude?
Listen, man, I got fucking the text to speech series on my mind.
Yo, that's text.
What do you think it
speech
said, Papa
I'm like,
Smurf?
this game is dead.
It's dead.
Goddamn
But
it,
it's so
Warhammer.
good, dude.
Games Workshop.
What happened?
Read the chat.
I bet you can't name anything from Sims but a plumb bob. Bullshit. I actually know quite a bit, actually, and it's not because of her.
Sex.
I knew about the whole the weird family that was abducted by aliens and shit. That was in like several games. Don't give me that.
Can you name the family?
No, I forget. I know it's a Hispanic. I know it's a Hispanic name, and like the wives and the sisters were the sussy ones, and it was a dude. I want to say it was like Sanchez or something like that. But it was like that, and it was like everybody thought he'd killed his wife or something, and it was the fact like that she had gone back in time or something. Okay, like in Sims 4, there's a reference to it that she had gone back in time to Sims like 1, and that's why we have a weird Easter egg in Sims 1. So don't give me that. I do kind of know things. I know a little bit. I know enough where I can hold a conversation with Karina when she like watches her live streams with I don't know her name. She's really cool though. What's the YouTuber you watch all the time?
Vixella.
Yeah, I can sit there and I can kind of know what's going on. Okay.
All I know is that they speak an incomprehensible alien language.
I also learned that there is a translation somewhere. Like people have spent hours and days translating the language. And
Fucking nerds.
And I'm like, oh my god, you're so fucking nerds. And I realized that I know how to read Arabic, which is the Star Wars written language. And I'm like, I am a what the fuck?
Yeah, I can't say anything. I've had like an inkling to learn like Klingon.
I was also supposed to say I can also write and read most Elvish languages, but that's just because I'm a fucking nerd.
I've watched a couple videos on how to read and speak Dwarvish, like Tolkien Dwarvish, but
Yeah,
for
Tolkien.
some reason it just vanished from my YouTube.
I actually do know.
Google it again, but I'm
Ranger, the next time I see you, whenever that may be, I gotta show you. I have a book that I take at work that I write purely in Elvish, and
okay.
everybody thought I was gonna blow up the fucking building because they saw all the squiggly lines.
Hey, can you?
Shut up! No, I need someone needs to support their family.
Damn.
All right, okay. Like I need to pay bills. Okay, fuck.
Damn, dude. You think you're smart? I know how to read and spell unknown from Pokemon.
Yo,
Fucking nerd,
dude. And that's the same thing. Like that's another.
Actually,
thing.
you know what?
I can't say it's I can understand it most of the time.
But you know what? Joking aside, I'm actually kind of a nerd on like because for Bionicle they have a language and it's like alphabetical, like in alphabet, but it's just like it's the way how it's written. It's just weird. It's like hexagons with lines and dots on it.
Yeah,
and I'm able to read it.
That's the exact same way how like and not exactly the same way.
Every language though.
But like it's like where
Bionicle's language.
yeah,
It's
like
Matoran.
Yeah, it's like writing in Elvish, like it's like one of the things where like you see it exactly how it is in like tokens, like the long form. That's exactly how even like in D&D, that Elvish language is written in that very similar vein of that. And I can read most of it. The other day, I was so upset at work. I had written in Elvish because I knew nobody was gonna get it, so I couldn't get a write up for it. But I wrote "fuck off" on my mask in Elvish, and everybody looked at me like I was a fucking weird. It's like, no one's reading this. No one can understand what I wrote, but everyone is staying away from me. I got my point across, except for one motherfucker. Bless her heart, understood it and just laughed. Shout out to Felicia. Appreciate her for being a fucking nerd too.
Hook
I
a
also have
brother
to
up.
say because I'm obligated to say this. You dirty fucking elf. Oh,
Fuck
shit,
you.
I'm gonna die.
Fuck you. I still am an
Look
elf.
here,
I'm playing an elf in
Army
Karina's current
boy.
campaign. I'm playing what am I playing? I'm
Fucking
playing a
hell.
Magus.
I'm
You
playing a
knife,
Republican,
human.
you
give
knife-eared
elves.
piece of shit.
And I appreciate I'm using my knife here as weapons. Thank you very much.
I'm playing a split personality / schizophrenic human.
That boy, I can't wait to fucking see your character, dude.
Dude, I have like
Hmm.
I have
Who
like
does
six,
that sound like, Winking?
I have like 6 different
Oh,
fucking characters on
no.
one character.
Yeah, like
I have to
Face-
roll for
face
what
honko.
personality, aka what class I am that day.
Old hunky boy.
oh, God.
Space Honky.
I don't think you could say that, Alex. I don't think you
I
can
mean,
say that. I
no.
think Ranger can say that.
I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah,
has-
him thirsty. Him a thirsty little boy.
no, absolutely, I am. Nom, nom, nom. I'm gonna eat myself a ding dong. Wink, wink.
Oh,
Well,
he
so
is
it's like
fucking-
Ranger. I was waiting for you to say that. Hey, you can't say that. That's our word.
Hostess, please
You can use
sponsor.
hunka.
And that's
I don't think YouTube will even censor us for that because they're kind of biased. They just
Hey,
believe
it's
that
not one of the four
the
words,
other
right?
races
it's not one of those for words. No, you
Yeah.
can say the
they
N
only
word.
believe.
You can say. Oh no, you can't say the N word.
Why
You can. But you can
Who's
call.
who's gonna do it?
Who's gonna do it? Who's the son of a
Let's
bitch?
just use the
Well, you
slang
tried to
term
say
for
the
white
N-word and you
people.
got banned for it.
What's what? What? That boy?
Or not banned, but we got a strike on our channel because of it.
I said I'll say it.
That means we have one more strike and
It's
we're
not
set.
that
We
N-word.
have one more safe strike.
Yeah. So like so okay, that's gonna be a topic about it right now. So full transparency, because I don't have when we talk about the podcast, we're pretty transparent on how we feel about things. So there was not gonna be a podcast tonight, 100% not gonna be one, and it's because
His
I
life is
cannot read. So we
Can't read no good.
Karina, myself, Angie, Fatboy, and Mortimer have been playing Minecraft.
I didn't read it.
I've been playing Minecraft for about like 6 hours, and I've done nothing of progress. Actually, I've been doing nothing. I've been kind of just wandering. But I was like, yeah, we're not hosting a podcast because we can't. You know, we got the community strike. It says we have to wait a week to do it. Turns out, we don't. Turns out
Yeah,
that it
because
said,
of me, you ungrateful
I
fuck.
was gonna say I'm unaware of that.
so we got the community strike, and it said, "Oh, if it happens again, you guys we cannot post for 1 week. We can't upload, post, update anything. It's a week of not doing it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I read it as, "Oh, you're suspended for 1 week." I read it as, "This week you cannot do this week." First off, Pat, this is
It's only if it happens again.
Pat, first off, this world was not designed to be streamed. Karina did mention it to me that I should be streaming. Irrelevant. Okay. Oh, again, this is the same problem why I said no, because I thought we couldn't stream to the channel because of that. Okay, so don't get mad at me.
I do have a clip of Angie being bullied in the server.
And I love you for that. So we did get some clips. They will eventually come out. This week has been my kind of enjoy life week. I've been playing because I haven't played it. Look, bro. Hey, Broflin, by the way.
Hi.
How you doing?
Look,
You've been here for a minute,
Not-
but you haven't said anything.
I have been here for. Well, the reason I didn't say anything is because I had nothing to say.
Well, no, I figured.
that's fair.
Also, I was eating.
That's fair.
Also fair. Well,
What were you eating?
I think I didn't want to interrupt the conversation because we were.
Hamburger.
Ooh, hamburger from where?
Hamburger.
Humber.
In and out.
Gone Hopper.
Mm.
Hamburger,
I love
cheeseburger, Big Mac,
hamburger.
Whopper, hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac,
Big Mac
Whopper.
Whopper, Big Mac Whopper, Big Mac,
Big Mac.
Big Mac
Big Mac
hamburger, Big Mac.
Whopper.
Yo, what the fuck? What's happening? Why are we all having
Hamburger,
strokes?
cheeseburger.
Mix edition.
Where's that video? Let's have it saved somewhere.
God damn it.
Speaking of burgers, babe, wasn't it like last week the first time you had a Burger King burger?
Yo, yeah.
Ever?
Please
Real-
close.
Real talk.
Please
Real talk.
close.
I had again, last week was my painting week, and I had a guest appearance at my house. Mayan showed up, and we played Warhammer on the tabletop,
Oh.
which was random as shit, and that might become a series on the other channel. We'll talk about that later. But we came over, and he was out. I asked Karina, "Hey, are you hungry? He's on his way. Let me just ask him to bring us food, and I just pay him." And the line at McDonald's was too long. He's like, "Hey, can I just get Burger King?" And I was like, "Okay, cool." I was like, "I don't know what to order from Burger King. I don't eat there. I still to this up till last week.
You're not poor enough.
See, here's the thing. I don't think even
You gotta be in a certain tax bracket for Burger King.
even
You
if
can't
And
afford
I
a
want the
King.
record to
just
show.
way
I-
too above.
I-
You're way too high.
I want the record.
You're
to,
making money.
I want the record to show that even if I was broke, I don't think I would eat Burger King. I would walk across the street and go to McDonald's.
Actually, like Burger King, I think a little
I'm not
bit
okay.
better
I want the
than
record to show
McDonald's.
that I shit
That's
on it
just
because
because
I've never,
they actually charbroil their burgers.
I did like the burger.
What's,
It did make my stomach sick.
what's
Skill
Burger
issue.
King's burger stick? It's the Whopper,
Whopper,
right? I think-
Whopper.
Yeah, the Whopper. Is the Whopper good?
It was good. I got a Whopper. I didn't know what
think
the
I've
fuck to
ever
get.
had
You
a
like
Whopper.
charbroiled burgers with
sure.
like
Sure.
a quarter of a head of lettuce and like two splooges worth of mayonnaise
I
and
was gonna say
ketchup. I
they
think
added.
they put mustard in them.
Yes.
Yeah, they put like
They
a
do not.
they
They added-
fucking nut in that thing,
They
dude.
added, so my
I
thing was
don't-
they added mayo, and that was a weird thing because I'm
Yeah,
so
because a lot
naive-
of other places don't do it.
exactly. I was like, what the mayo? I
Is
was
it,
like, okay.
Isn't it like some sort of burger ketchup mayo sauce instead
No,
of straight
it
mayo?
was just mayo.
I mean, they'll call it whatever they want to, but it's mayonnaise.
It was mayo. It was
Gotcha.
white.
It's mayonnaise
Yeah.
or mayo.
Yeah.
It's
Probably.
like when you go to like any chicken place and they're like, try our house sauce. It's just Thousand Island with pepper and cayenne.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. yeah.
It was and that's I was like, oh good, it's good. It wasn't bad. And I know I've bought stuff at Burger King. I have not eaten at Burger King.
Like a
Their chicken
Western
fingers
burger?
are okay, I guess.
Karina got the chicken fingers.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
the chicken fries.
Salad.
And at the time when the crisis of the spicy chicken nuggets were not at Wendy's, they were selling spicy chicken nuggets, and that's how it was
That's
getting.
right.
That's how I was getting away with shit because I was like, babe, they have spicy nuggets, and man, was I doing dumb shit. I was
The thing about the Kurger Bing, their nuggets were like $1.50 for a tenner for the longest
for the
time.
longest,
It's insane.
I could get
How
drunk.
long
With,
that
I could get drunk with the boys for $3, dude. It was wonderful.
that was quite an era.
Wendy's. Yes, no.
Hit your
Wendy's?
There's a
Yes.
24-hour Wendy's near me that I didn't realize was incorporated into a gas station.
Oh, okay, cool. I was about to say, how far is
Oh.
it? Because I might have to do that. I'm all,
Not very, it's one of those truck stop ones, so you're
Oh,
gonna
okay.
run into truckers and
Ooh.
RV people and homeless people.
That's fine. That's
But I mean, that's par for the course for a 24-hour restaurant.
yeah, I'm used to that. The you
Quen-
know what? Have we?
Question.
Go ahead for you first.
Carl's Jr.
Slaps.
I love.
It's okay, I
love
guess.
Carl's
Yeah,
Jr.'s.
that shit slaps.
It's
I
slaps.
do like.
I have
I do
like-
like me
it's
some Carl's.
expensive for what they sell.
I have combos. I have a combo with me for a Carl's Jr.
Their
I
tenders
feel like
are
we've
pretty
done this
solid.
before.
Or not, like a
Yeah, we did. We
coupon,
literally did a tier list.
Where's
did a
that
tier
tier
list.
list at?
I
I don't
did.
know,
yeah.
Hey, that's
Yeah,
a,
we literally
hey, go
did
watch
a
that
tier
podcast
list.
where we did the tier list for 45 for almost an hour and a half. And Carl, look, I have a thing. Carl's Jr. I love Carl's Jr., but it's not an every fucking day thing. It is too goddamn expensive for what it is.
No place should be an everyday thing.
Yeah.
First off,
Yes.
You
true,
shut your whore
true.
mouth.
no,
Nice
What's-
diet.
you're gonna die by your time you're 40.
And you want to be here past 40?
I don't.
Ah,
I'm not answering that
I want to
question.
hear it.
I'm
I
not
wanna hear it.
answering that
I don't
question.
want to hear that fucking.
For legal reasons, I'm not answering that.
Alright. Yeah, no, I know. I have been cutting back on the
That I
on the
one
food.
day want to own a blicky, I will also not say anything.
I need a doctor.
I want to.
For
I also
me
need
and
a
Carl's
doctor, for sure.
Jr. For
I
me and
need
Carl's Jr. I'm always there for
antibiotic.
like for the Star McNuggets.
My daughter does love them Star McNuggies.
Hey
I
yo,
love me a
Star
Star
I
Nuggie.
love
McNuggets.
Star Nuggies, dog.
Star
I love
Nuggies?
Star
Star
Nuggies.
Nuggies or Dino Nuggies?
Oh shit!
Dino.
They're both
Dino.
Dino
trash, if I'm
Nuggies.
honest.
No,
Dino
no,
Nuggies.
no. I gotta admit it. The Dino Nugget
It makes
slap.
me it makes me a little bit
Dino
more
Nuggies,
happy
to be
seeing a
honest.
dumb fuck dinosaur rather than a dumb fuck star.
Look, man, the dinosaurs make them taste better.
The
Can't
star
explain
just
it, but they
makes me
do.
feel like they're on
The
some
Star
shit.
actually has
Nuggies.
flavor. The Dino Nuggets are just
No,
subpar chicken leftovers pressed into a
Hey, can you
dinosaur
not
shape
ruin my childhood?
and
I
then
appreciate
breaded
it.
in like the cheapest breading they can make.
There is
You
a bit
better-
of the true self and the false self. Dino Nuggies. Chicken. Chicken
Huh.
are what's left of the dinosaurs, therefore actual dinosaur.
Sure, man. You
I
tell
I
yourself
don't
whatever
know
you
what
need
I'm
to.
talking about.
dinosaurs.
What the fuck? That was such a fucking leap, dude.
Listen, man. You can tell yourself whatever you need to. I'm packing this bowl, and it's not gonna matter pretty soon.
Man,
Yo,
I
speaking of which,
spent
man,
literally
speaking of
yeah,
which,
Finish
Fat
my
Boy.
drink.
This is my first time smoking all week, by the way.
What?
Oh,
Jesus.
Fat Boy?
that old dinosaur
Congrats.
toys made of oils, made of petrol, which is made from dead dinosaurs. So dinosaurs been made into little dinosaurs.
Hey, yo.
That's the
what he
plastic.
just
That's
said.
right.
Oh, whoa?
Do I put the funny goo on this? I probably
Yes.
shouldn't.
So
All right, I'm gonna go grab
I
it.
got to see I got to see Fat Boy roll his sorry, stroke.
Christ, this drink is strong. Fuck.
What are you drinking?
It's Tito's and Dr. Pepper.
God, we're drinking on this podcast? What the fuck? No one told me. God damn, I would have been fucking done already. God damn. No,
I was-
I would have been fucking
Oh, you
done.
got
Man, if, yeah, if I
20
was-
minutes.
I would
Oh,
call-
before we
call
move
that bottle
on.
of chocolate alcohol I got.
Don't actually.
No, I was gonna say
Probably not good.
let's start. Let's go with that. Are we having a post show? And that's gonna determine if I drink or not.
Drinky?
Sure, why not?
But I'm
brother?
not drinking because I have to be coherent for that.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But no, the
But we
Sorry.
can drink.
yeah, y'all can get fucked up. But like the
Oh, you whore.
no, what circling back to with the Mal, you
Yeah.
can't run Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Stop doing it. Mouse thinks he's coming up from Steam where he's because Jedi Survivor came out today.
Oh,
And I can't wait to get it when I get my paycheck in like 6 weeks.
whatever happened to
6
what's it called? The fighter game. Star Wars Rogue Squadron, I think it was called.
The community has basically died.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is a shame. There's a lot of people who still play it. I say a lot, like maybe 1,000.
Like a small dedicated
Yeah.
community, basically.
I got into it and I got completely smoked.
I was gonna say that seems like a game where it's like, yeah, high skill ceiling.
It's either you really like it or you just bought the game. And that's the same way how I feel about Star Wars, because like now Star Wars Battlefront 2 has become its own thing because it's now on private servers. Private servers, like people are hosting servers for
You
it
have
now.
dedicated servers now.
They've had them for a while.
People can host dedicated servers
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
That's amazing. That saves the
The
game right
modding
there.
community has
Legitimately,
gone
that saves the
wild.
game.
The problem is like my since the update with EA, it's been really
don't
fucking
burn.
weird.
Say again.
Like I haven't been able to log into Battlefront 2 for a cool minute because you know when the EA got its change from not what was it, babe? Originally it was like Origin, and now it's not.
Oh yeah.
It like completely fucked with my stuff, and like I haven't really able to actually play with it. Like it says I have it and it works, but like occasionally it just doesn't. I'm like I don't have the mentality to figure out why you're not working today.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's hot. Ow.
Withstand it. Withstand it.
Smoke hot.
Smoke.
Be sure.
Arr. But
If I didn't have to work tomorrow, I would join you.
Oh.
damn.
He-
Yeah, man.
That's
work-
fucking gay.
Work sucks. I know.
They did Coachella.
Did they really?
I think like a week ago. Yeah.
Like about a week
Blink
ago.
did Coachella. And I heard nothing but like mediocre things, honestly.
Really?
Like dude's trying to sound like himself, but he just can't do it. It's not great.
Is it just like he needs to
Someone
stop?
deepfake this voice.
I think it's age. I think it's age and the fact that he chose such a specific accent that is just not as prevalent today, and now it's a lot more hard. It's a lot harder to just have an unironic example of it. You know?
Yeah.
They're all like, "Where are you?"
I also think doing it for
I'm so sorry.
I also think for doing it for
So
years has just
cocky
completely
British.
ruined him.
I thought they went on hiatus or something.
I have no idea.
But,
I don't
but
know.
yes, truly, where are you?
I'm so sorry though.
I don't think
I
you are.
cannot sleep. I cannot something tonight.
My
Annoyed.
genitals are bleeding.
Yo, same.
Hmm. Is there blood in your? I'm not finishing the cookies.
I was gonna say don't do it.
Is there blood in your piss?
Occasionally.
No,
Well,
Is
there's
there
you're
blood
not
in
living
your-
like.
Is there
You're not
blood in
living
your
like
cum?
Larry.
not living like Larry.
Is there stones in your piss?
Not yet. It's just silt.
Fuck, dude.
What was that? What was the thing I said a couple podcasts ago? Kidney stones are stored in the balls.
Kidney stones are stored in the balls. Yes, 100%. And
All
and
of them.
cum is stored in the brain.
Yeah.
And I got a headache.
God damn it.
Cum is stored in the mouth. And
God damn it. Someone left. I don't know who it was.
Well,
Okay.
What do you
no,
mean?
Boyle's here still.
Definitely
is he?
It's definitely not Jerry Springer.
Who left? Oh, Wise.
Wise.
Jerry Springer did leave. You're right. He
Oh
did
yeah,
Yeah,
leave.
Jerry
leave the
Springer.
chat.
Okay,
Jerry Springer
Question.
did-
Question.
Oh.
Question.
I did.
Question. Who's Jerry Springer?
He was once a mayor.
Jerry.
And
Okay.
I still don't know who you're talking about.
So all I know him from is
Wait,
what
did
exactly.
you have cable
No.
growing up? Did you have cable?
Unaware. What should I be looking for in terms of cable?
Were you on the channel public access? I think it's like, what was it?
I think it was 4.
Don't know. Probably not.
So ABC. Were you on ABC like
7.
ever?
ABC
Don't
was
think
7.
so.
The ABC had 2. They had ABC and KABC.
Yeah, KBC was 11.
No.
No.
Don't think so.
9. How do I know this? God damn.
It's like I recognize the name, but
So I know him from 2 things.
Basically, he hosted ghetto people on his show, and people love to watch it because they're like, funny. Oh my god, he's gonna fight with the audience member. Oh, they're just letting it happen.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. No, I only know him from 2 things. One, that show, and him hosting Raw like for a week in the 2010s. That's it. Just a random appearance of him. Like, oh, okay.
How did that go? I reckon not well, right? It was
No, it
only a
went really
week.
well actually. So believe it or
Oh.
not, the Attitude Era was done the way it was because of him.
What's the Attitude Era?
Attitude Era is the moment Steve Austin did his Austin 316 promo up till 2004, 2005.
Okay, yeah, there's a reason I don't remember that.
Yeah. No, it was I think around that time that's when it ended. The reason for that was because the writer who shall not be named ruined the show quite a bit, and it was basing it off of Jerry Springer. Like his inspiration was that he would watch the show in the morning and then use those storylines to write wrestling. Don't at me. Because he likes to sue. So yeah. Go figure that shit.
So we're at 15 minutes till the end. Is there any other topics that
We have
we
so
would like
I want
to
to
bring
circle
up?
back
We
to
kind of we've talked about the roughly the same thing for the past hour and a half.
yeah.
Is there anything that you want to bring up?
Yes,
before we
Wise
end?
and I were talking about did we talk about the Mandalorian at the end of last week?
Spoiler free, please.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah, sorry.
Never
I
mind.
do
then.
plan
We
to
will
watch it.
not talk
I
about
actually
it.
do plan to watch it.
Okay, we will not talk about it then because me and him were fighting about it at the again, circling back to the original topic that the main podcast was about today.
Ooh, okay.
It was about how decisive season 3. Let's talk about it. Season 3 was very divisive I can speak. I promise.
Hey, if you guys want to talk about it, I'll just like
No.
deafen myself.
I'll do non-spoiler.
Okay.
But basically, the season was very mixed for a lot of people, and a lot of people have been shitting on it. My take from it, it was an okay season. It was not as strong as the first two, but it was not a bad season. If that makes sense.
Well, what would you say has been the best season so far?
2.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, the second season is the best season. I think
Okay.
I also think that it suffered from 2 things. One, having a plotline that was designed to make season 3 better get ruined by higher executives.
Ugh.
And if you know, you know. And the biggest thing is the
Executive producing.
it wasn't even executive producing. It was above their pay grade. Like, it wasn't even the guys in the Star Wars department. It was the guys in the Disney department above them saying, "Hey, fix that shit."
That's whack.
Were
Yeah.
they funding the project?
Not necessarily, but they have final say by the licensing. Like, how they own the property of it. They do have final say.
It's kind of gay.
It is kind it hurt the season.
No, it's called ownership.
Yeah, it hurt the season, but what we got could have been way worse. And I know how it could have been. I'm just happy that it was good enough where it kind of fixes the main issue people have been having with the season. The season, and once you watch the season, I recommend watching the whole season at once as a shot, like binge it rather than week to week. That's my recommendation for it. Why is
But
there...
that's not healthy.
Correct, it's not. The reason for it is how the story was told week to week. Heard it.
Excuse me.
Heard it
Do
more
an
than
episode a day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do an episode
Max.
a day. Yeah. Do an episode a day. Don't do it. Don't like how we did it like a week because it did a lot of like you needed to watch X episode to understand the next
Alright,
episode or
motherfuckers,
something.
I need to go to
Something.
sleep. I had to wake up in like 5 hours to go to work.
Good night, fat boy.
Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hey babe, do we have a desert?
Not
Who's
for a
we?
bit. They're pretty far out.
Okay.
Are you winning, son?
No, I'm not. I'm looking for cacti. But Wise, what did you feel about this? Or who else saw it?
I have not seen any of the seasons. I think I saw episode 1 and then stopped.
Okay. What about you, Manny Prime? Did you watch the season?
No.
Okay.
No.
Did you watch season 2?
Yeah.
What stopped you from watching season 3? Just curious.
I just like season 1 better because it's more self-contained.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
And
fair.
that was
That's
that
fair.
was the biggest complaint of the season.
And in season 2, there was like way too many cameos. And I just felt like the story should just end there. Just leave it.
Okay. Yeah, season 3 again will probably be a negative for you.
Mm.
Because it's just more of that. It's because the scope of the show has gotten bigger. I think it's because of the fact that like there's so many more so originally it was supposed to start a whole like era of Star Wars that they're doing. So they're now trying to like the 30-year gap from episode 6 to 7. Or was it 30 years, something like that? That gap is now being filled with these shows. And it's kind of nice that we're getting a lot of stuff from Legends and stuff, which I really appreciate. But I do admit that this show particularly suffers from being the first show in that line of shows, because it has to set up the next show and the next show and the next show. It reminds me a lot of, and I think only maybe Manny Prime will get this, is like how Arrow started and how Arrow ended. I think that's a big thing about what happened. Where Arrow was a very self-contained, very grounded kind of its own like story by itself. And then when you started getting spin-offs like The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow and Batwoman and Black Lightning and the Cheetah web series, it kind of hurt it more than it helped in that sense as a show itself. If you're watching all the shows, it was nice because all the shows kind of tied together and it was some nice little cool things. But if you were just watching one show that you liked that character, you liked that group of characters, it kind of hurt it more than it benefited it. I think it's the same thing that's happening with The Mandalorian.
Where's my zombie Star Wars?
That's gonna be fun if they do it. I know they're trying to do a Visions for that.
From the book, the one that they're like stuck
the one,
in like
the one we all know, the salt, yeah. They're canonizing a lot of legend stuff, which is kind of nice. If you're into that, I am into it.
But that's weird because Disney declared that anything that's came from Legends is like non-canon.
Yeah, and now they're not doing that. Now they're taking all that back. They're slowly taking most of it back.
I wonder why.
Because
maybe it's because they pissed off like a good chunk of the fans.
If I tell you that's not the reason, will you believe me?
I don't know.
It's because
I don't believe in Disney
because of
anymore.
the Kevin Feige for Star Wars likes all that
The
shit.
dragon burned down, right?
Huh?
The dragon burned.
Which dragon burned?
The Disney one?
What do you mean?
Right?
Oh yeah, the dragon statue.
Yeah.
Go on, explain. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you know the dragon?
No.
You know the big purple
Maleficent?
dragon?
Okay, yes.
She burned down.
What do you mean? Where?
The dragon burned. I don't fucking know. Which park was it?
Son of a bitch. Disney dragon.
By the way, before we get too far off of our previous topic about the Mandalorian,
Good.
I watched a video recently. Garand Thumb, he does like videos on like military gear and technical gear and stuff like
Yeah.
that. He did a video. He'll do like April Fool's videos sometimes about like fictional stuff. Like he's done Halo in recent years, but this year he did one about the Mandalorian, reviewing the disruptor rifle.
Yes.
And from what I saw from like people talking about it, like it was actually really faithful to lore and stuff. And the guy who played the Mandalorian, I forget his actual name, like in the video,
burns down.
was the cosplay was really damn good. I'm just gonna post it again in the Reckless Podcast chat.
I remember you posting that, and we completely glanced over it a while ago.
Yeah, it's a really cool video.
Yeah.
You know.
I won't spoil.
And then it's like he's role playing as like this ex-Imperial guy, and he'll like make references and stuff like this, and it's a really well put together video.
Well, that's good because
And
I believe that in lore that weapon is illegal.
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's like only
Actually a
now.
real faithful and really cool video.
TMZ, perfect.
I also recommend watching his Halo stuff too. That was pretty faithful as well.
Interesting.
No
Where's the
disintegration.
Super
I
interesting.
think the reason was that
That's loud.
how the disintegration rifles work is like there was like some weird like psychic reason where the actual disintegration process to the person getting disintegrated takes like hours to happen to them. Like it seems like that, so it's one of the most inhumane ways to actually kill somebody. I think was the reason. I don't know.
You could say
That's why
anything
Darth
because
Vader's-
I actually don't. All I know is that there's one Easter egg in the actual trilogy, the original trilogy about it, and it's the one with Boba Fett.
Darth Vader said no.
It's the one with
Yeah,
Boba
Darth
Fett on the Star Destroyer, where he's like, I want him brought in alive, no disintegration. It's because originally when Boba Fett was introduced back in the 1970s for that Star Wars Christmas special, Boba Fett came out with that rifle.
Oh, okay.
And that's what was its gimmick. And that was the...
He rides
Authenticates
on a funny dinosaur though.
He read the Mythosaur. He rode the Mythosaur.
Yeah, he beat it up.
And that was like that that was really cool. And then when the Mandalorian came out with that gun, we're like, "Hey, yo!" So originally we're like, "Oh, they're just fixing Boba Fett," basically, because that Boba Fett was supposed to be what the Mando is.
Gotcha.
Originally, and then it became Jango Fett, and then the whole cloning thing, and that kind of, because originally the Clone Wars wasn't. No one knew what the Clone Wars was. It was mentioned in the original like screenplay of it, of A New Hope, when Obi-Wan talks to Luke about it, but it's never talked about after, I think, after episode 4, because I know one of the generals in the first movie in episode 4 talks about Vader about it with the Jedi, and that's like the last reference for the entire like series. So yeah. I know too much Star Wars.
So we got 2 minutes left. Anybody got any final
The video's 1 minute
Final
and
words?
53 seconds long. Go.
I skipped through it. The dragon really do be on fire.
What?
Yeah.
So what is it? Phantasma Burned. Is this
I don't think it's a good idea to name it.
the video or the dragon?
No, the thing. Right? Isn't it licensed? It's probably licensed,
I
right?
don't think that has anything to do with
Licensed
naming what the fuck it is.
schmeicensed.
I don't even know where this is at.
It's probably in the tags, right?
Oh my god, this is no. So this is
I closed the video out already.
this is Disneyland proper.
Anaheim?
Anaheim, yes. This is right in front of the. This is where like all the boats are.
Castle?
Not
Oh.
where the castle's at, but where
Just,
the
like,
haunted mansion is at.
West of the
In front of like in New Orleans Square. Again, I don't think anybody knows what that is but me. But yeah. So it's not the castle.
I don't remember very well. I've been
It's
there,
a,
but I don't.
there's a second. There's like a fireworks show, and then there's a show on the water. That this is what it's from. That's interesting to me. That does suck because that's been around since when we were kids.
It's fine. They can rebuild.
Probably. Yeah, because
They have money.
It'll probably be a lot better now.
probably. Yeah, because they do a lot of like practical effects and like what is the term? Like visual
Puppeteer?
story? They kind of hide a lot of
Oh,
things in like some of like the stuff, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, no. Anything before we cop out tonight? So we're counting down to podcast 150. Whenever that is, there's still stuff in the works for that. So keep an eye out for that. If you're not already in it, like, subscribe, join our Discord, because it's weird because that we post things in there. There hasn't been really an update to talk about recently because we're working on it. Yeah, I think that's all we have for now, right? Anybody else want to promote something?
What? Go watch funnier movies.
What are your thoughts on foldable fishing rods or collapsible fishing rods?
That sounds-
Telescopic fishing rods, if you will.
Oh, what the fuck?
Are those viable?
Sort of
Are they
like an
strong enough?
erection. I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
They seem structurally
I think it's possible.
efficient. Maybe with the right materials.
And you'll
What's
find
its
out if you
tensile
join us in the
strength?
post show. See you.
Woo-ha!
Yahoo!
Come,
It's a me. Mario.
Cumless.
peaches.
Mario.
Yeah,
We didn't
I
even
didn't
talk about Peaches. Beck's probably
The
gonna win an
time has
Oscar.
come for you to choose the gay pipe, the peace pipe, or the calm pipe.
I don't want that one.
Peace pipe.
The piss pipe.
The cum pipe.